Camera pack, tripod, drone, big ass lens. Good thing I got a sidecar that can carry all this stuff. I guess there won't be any sleep for me tonight because I'm too excited. We're riding 400 miles tomorrow to the Mojave Desert for the Harley first ride event for the Pan America. I poo-pooed that bike for a long time, but now it's looking like it could be really good. I'm co-founder of ADVrider, and I think it's fair to say we're all very skeptical of Harley until we start seeing specs and pictures and some early ride reports, and then it's like, oh dude, maybe they're gonna pull this off. I'll take you on my journey of discovery and end the episode by concluding whether I would buy one or not. I can't wait to hear that engine, so let's get to it. They house this in the awesome car compound, which is owned by Rawhide Adventures.
The zombie apocalypse compound at Rawhide, right? That's what that car means. I wanted some sort of a portrayal of a zombie scene just because this place is sort of post-apocalyptic.
They lined up our bikes outside our room that first night to make sure I was too excited to sleep again. Oh look, there's Spurgeon from Revzilla trying to talk on the phone.
How was the, I saw the interview with Anthony. Looked good, man.
Yeah.
Looked like a fun interview.
Huh?
Yeah. So I mean, once the price came out and like the specs, like the fact that it's got the hydraulic lifters, the fact that it's got the ride height adjustability, like those two things alone I think are probably game changing in the industry.
I owe them a pizza party.
Yeah.
Because I did an article where I went frame by frame through the whole video, that first video. Yeah. And was like, it's got this, it's got that, I can tell it's got this, I can tell it's got that. But I said I will treat the entire engineering and design crew to a pizza party if it comes in under 550 pounds.
It was like 560, wasn't it?
It's
534.
Well, the base model is 530.
530. Okay.
531, I think.
For the wet?
Yeah. And
Okay.
they're like
Amazing.
They're like, so when are we getting our pizza?
That's really funny.
How's it going?
Excellent. I was very pleased because I walked up and the first question they asked was, would you like some bar risers?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I want some bar risers.
I know.
You want some tall seats? Like, yeah, I want a tall seat.
How tall are you?
6'6".
Yeah, they said there was a 6'6" freak here. Oh, you're fixing me up, huh? What do you have to do to put the risers on?
You just have to clip in to get some more out of the switch housing wire.
What are these for right there?
That's for the front bearing.
Oh, that you took off. Okay. Oh, so that's what it looks like without a front fairing, huh?
Yeah.
So I'm 6'4", and here's what I look like with the bar risers. Felt good.
Hi, I'm Josh with Harley-Davidson. I want to talk to you about the seats that we offer for the Pan America motorcycle. The Pan America motorcycle has 2 seat adjustments built into the motorcycle. So any one of our seats can be adjusted by an inch by simply moving the seat up or down.
So I'm on the Pan America Special, and I'm currently set up with the standard seat. So it is as it would come off the showroom floor without any incremental spend, and it allows me a seat height of 32.7 to 33.7 from the ground. I am 5'7", just to give you some parameters. I'm 5'7", and I've got a 30.5-inch inseam, and I'm pretty much can be flat-footed on both sides of the motorcycle as it comes.
Our adaptive ride height option that's available on the 1250 Special also will raise and lower the suspension.
The motorcycle is on right now, which means what?
The motorcycle's on, and this motorcycle is equipped with the adaptive ride height, which means that the bike will change the height dynamically based on what conditions. So when I come to a stop, the bike is going to actually adapt about an inch, so it will lower so that I can be closer to the ground. When I'm powered on and I'm under movement, the bike actually will be up about an inch with adaptive ride height to allow me to get better ground clearance over some obstacles that I might want to cover.
So I'm going to talk about the seat heights with an adaptive ride height motorcycle in the parked position with an unladen condition, meaning no rider or gear on the motorcycle. So our reach seat, which is an option through our parts and accessories, this will afford the rider to have a 31.7 seat height in the parked position. It can be adjusted to 32.7 inches.
So this is what it looks like with the reach seat in the low position.
And then at last we have our tall boy seat, which is also an option in our parts and accessories catalog.
So this is what it looks like with the tall boy seat in the low position. So this is what it looks like with the tall boy seat in the high position, a 34.7-inch seat height.
So you guys are pumping up the suspension?
Yeah, so the way the system works is when it's off,
the bike raises up. So it needs power to find its low height. So it's a way to demonstrate what the system's really doing. So when you key it on, you're gonna see what happens when you're riding the bike. It drops it down to the level, that's the low height that we were just showing in those videos.
Wonderful.
And so anytime you trailer this motorcycle, as you go over bumps, it's going to raise to its highest ride point. And that is because if something was to happen to the motorcycle with the system, the default is to give you a clearance in ride height instead of having you be in the lowest position where you might hit rocks or drag on the ground.
I was trying to get this segment recorded quick because our group was getting ready to ride and I needed to get my gear on, and I fumbled the record button. But you can see how Erin's heel is lifted on the tall boy seat before turning on the ignition. At least I got a still frame after the ignition went on, and you can see how the bike lowered. You can see what I look like at 6'4" with the tall boy seat. It felt lower than on a KTM, but I was completely comfortable for 2 days of all-day riding. No sore buttski like I get on KTMs. The seat is kind of squishy and soft, just like I like it, with the passenger seat elevated as my wife would like it so she could see over my shoulder. I left late on the first day and had to catch the group by doing 90 on the freeway in strong winds, and no problem, we just hummed right along. Some riders mentioned a little buzziness in the engine around 4,000 RPM, but it seemed glass smooth to me up to 6,000 where it really comes alive. It gives off some pulses when you give it the gas, but I wouldn't have called it buzzy. My bike was equipped with the Screamin' Eagle exhaust option, which knocks 6.3 pounds off the standard exhaust, and in my opinion, it looks delicious. I think the exhaust notes were about the same for both options, which was not loud, but a little throaty like I like it. I actually kept the RPM above 6,000 for all the twisties, because I love the sound, not to mention the hell of power and engine braking for the corners. The first day we had Michelin Scorcher adventure tires inflated to 40-something PSI, which were great on the road, but I was looking forward to real knobbies for day 2. The sandy, silty roads at the end of day 1 had me feeling a little slip-slidey. Even Spurgeon said the sand was tricky yesterday, so.
Well, that makes me feel a little better because that dude can ride.
The system takes care of preload, but you get to choose damping. For the road, the choices are sport, balanced, and comfort. I like the firmness of sport for the twisties, but I really appreciated having the options for more comfort on long hauls. Off-road, you get your choice of soft and hard. Deal with it. So one of the great things about being here with all the other journalists is we get to compare opinions while we're out riding and eating dinner and breakfast and so on, and our opinions are pretty much the same. The engine is amazing. It's kind of a miracle. It's smooth, and you know, maybe it doesn't have the low-end torque that we expected from Harley. It's pretty good low-end torque. I mean, you got a 1250, but man, it comes alive at 6,000 RPM. It is just awesome. Nobody's talking about the brakes, but they are incredible. We all tried zipping down the road and stopping as fast as we could, and oh, perfection. And the suspension was great, and we all agreed that the bike looks so much better in person than it does in a photo. The only thing I think several of us didn't like on the first day is the display. And let me see if I can take the camera over to a display and show you why. So the good news is it's super bright. If you hold down the home button and get the white display, it tilts up a little bit. I don't know if you can see that, just a little bit of tilt. But with the risers on, from my perspective, it does cover the fuel gauge and the time of day, which I found a little annoying. I had to lean forward and up. Not bad though. The one thing is older riders like me found the fonts to be a little too fine. We couldn't read some of the things from far away, and when we moved up close, we felt we needed some kind of reading glasses. So the whole second day, the issue of the display was in my head because I'm supposed to answer the question, would I buy this motorcycle? And I'm not going to recommend a motorcycle where I can't read essential things on the display, like how many miles of range do I have left before I run out of fuel? So I did what comes naturally, and I groused to Harley about it, and they pointed out a button on the handlebars where you can scroll through the central things that are on the side in small print and put them front and center where you can read them.
So there's your odometer, you got temperature, your range.
Okay, that made me feel a whole lot better. I'm not sure I love the display like I do the Africa Twins, but I do like it. So we woke up to find our rides from day 2 parked in front of our rooms, all set up. So really nice to get knobbies on a day 2 ride and those fancy laced upgraded wheels. Mine has the tall boy seat already, and they've installed the tall risers for me and replicated the high handlebar position. Awesome.
Way up this is second gear steady. If you want to rip it a little bit, leave some room. We need to space out in case something happens.
Yeah, right. Keep it steady in second gear. You're talking about crazy journalists here. Credit to Harley, they really let us stress the bikes in some pretty rough terrain on the second day. 7 of the 9 journalists in my group dropped their bikes, including me once. I dropped mine with the handlebars down in a deep rut and the wheels up on a soft berm where I'd lost control, and I couldn't swivel the bike around, I couldn't get grip with my boots, and so I just couldn't pick it up on my own, and I had to have a second guy help me. So that brings up the question, how hard is it to pick up this bike? So we tested it with a medium stature guy.
Hey, my name's Trev Richter. I'm a coach here at Rawhide, and I want to demonstrate how to pick a bike up when it goes down, because if you do ride in the dirt, these bikes will tip over from time to time. So,
how tall are you?
I'm about 5'9".
How much do you weigh?
150 pounds.
Here we go.
I'm going to sit on the bike with my knees at about a 90-degree angle. I'm going to grab the front hand grip and the back. Make sure both wheels are on the ground. I'm going to look up. That keeps my back straight. So then, once I'm in the correct position, I'm just going to walk backwards and the bike will just come right up off the ground.
As if by magic.
Yes.
Oh. Was that hard or easy?
Easy as that.
I think it's harder to pick up than a GS though, because the GS doesn't tip as far with those cylinders out the side, and maybe the GS has a lower center of gravity. I don't know. Probably the Harley engineers are going to watch this and scream and say, no, the center of gravity, why didn't you ask us? You were talking about this being genius today?
Oh yeah, this is actually a really great design. So this is a luggage rack that you can put on any of the Pan Americas. The luggage rack doubles as an attachment for our top case. It actually shifts side to side as the bike goes down the road. And so what that does is when you have the top case installed, this will shift, and what it does is it decouples the weight from the rest of the vehicle.
Oh, I see.
And that's how we're able to get our high speed of 135 mile an hour.
Wow.
With rated loads in the bags and the passenger.
Jeez.
Because this really helps with ride and handling, being able to decouple that from the rest of the motorcycle and have just a slight bit of motion. All right, so on the 1250 Special, you get a adjustable brake pedal that you can rotate, and it raises and lowers about a ½ inch, so when you're standing and riding the motorcycle. If we move over here to our foot peg has a removable insert. So when you go on or off-road, you can simply replace this. What's really handy is that this insert is the same for the passenger peg. So you can choose to have one set of inserts with you while riding, and then you can just move it from the front to the rear. We offer this 80 grit peg that can replace the rider pegs, and you can see the difference in the width that provides for comfort.
Yeah, in both dimensions, right? It's longer?
It's both longer and wider. All right, so here we have a 1250 Special model that has been upgraded with our parts and accessory tactical Trekker aluminum skid plate. The skid plate runs all the way back, protects the catalytic converter, and it also comes up and covers the regulator rectifier and the battery that's up front. All right, so here we have an accessory, part and accessory that we offer. It is a radiator guard in the tactical Trekker suite that we offer, and it is to protect the radiator. So you can see here it's installed on this vehicle to help keep rocks and stones from going in and bending the fins of the radiator. All right, so another offering that we have through our parts and accessory group is the auxiliary Daymaker lights. These lights have a driving beam, a fog beam, and they're able to be turned on at the same time. So when both beams are turned on, that is an off-road mode to provide more lighting on the road. They cover 50 meters wide and 150 meters in depth.
So the question I've been trying to ask myself honestly for the week is, would I buy one? That's a really tough question because there's a lot of great bikes in this category. I suppose if I were super hardcore off-road, I'd get a KTM, but I'm not that guy. If I wanted an automatic transmission, I'd get the Africa Twin. If I wanted exotic and pretty, I have to admit I have a soft spot for the Ducati 1260, which I tested for 2 weeks. But the most popular bike in this category is the BMW GS, and as surprised as I am to hear these words come out of my mouth, I would buy the Harley over that bike and any other bike in this category. Hydraulic valves you never have to adjust, a vast dealer network, competitive pricing, adjustable ride height, and a screaming engine. I'm sold. Thank you so much for coming on this crazy virtual adventure with me. I hope you'll comment because I learn a ton from you guys. And if you did like it, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you the next time.